What's good, YouTube? It's Aiden here. Let's make a little video. If you haven't saw already on my Facebook, me and my wife are looking to make a video together. We've been wanting to make one for a while, but we've been trying to come up with all these different topics and stuff, and it's been kind of hard. So, like nailing it down. So, we're shouting out to you guys. If you want to have any questions for me or for my wife or for the both of us together, go to my Facebook and leave your question there. So I'm getting some other questions too, which is good for other topics and stuff. So, the question that I'm going to talk about real quick here is somebody, I think I'm pronouncing his name right, Emil. Shout out to Emil, thanks for the question. Was pretty much just binding. Like, he's been binding for over a year. He's pretty much tired of binding. It's hot, it's painful. Like, any suggestions, tips, anything like that. So the first thing, when I first got a binder, I got the long binder. I felt like it helped me with my hip dysphoria, kind of kept everything a little tighter. So I was using that kind of binder. I bound for anywhere between 3 and 4 years before I was able to afford top surgery. So what I always suggest is to get the tri-top binders, because then you're not like, doesn't feel so restricting. It really just feels like a tight sports bra instead of like wearing this tight whole t-shirt almost. And that's especially helpful in the summer. The t-shirt style binders in the winter aren't that bad because they actually keep it kind of warm. But in the summertime, it does that exact thing. It keeps you really, really fucking warm. So that's when in the summer, when I moved to Florida, I went to a tri-top. Then I also, when I do tank tops and stuff, I've made this in a couple of my videos before. In order to wear a tank top with a binder, again, when it's hot, I would fold over the sides underneath my armpits also to hide the binder a little bit underneath the tank top. That was another little tip that I learned. But unfortunately, as far as binding, I mean, the only tips I can really do, I mean, he was saying he's experiencing some pain and stuff, is there's really one time that I always tell guys, like, you just shouldn't wear a binder, and that's sleeping. You just shouldn't wear a binder when you're sleeping. Whether you're, I mean, unless you're really uncomfortable and you're sleeping with a partner that, you know, you're just starting relations with and you don't feel comfortable sleeping, you know, without a binder on in front of them, I can understand that. But, you know, when you're sleeping alone, or if you're in a comfortable, safe space, and, you know, taking your binder off. I used to wear my binder until I was literally about to fall asleep. My wife would turn the lights off. I would take my binder off. I mean, I still had a shirt on. I'd take my binder off, and then I would fall asleep. And then in the mornings, I usually woke up before her, so I would just get up, get ready normally, and then put my binder on while I was getting dressed. I noticed that when those 6 to 8 hours of sleep, rest, not having to wear my binder was really helpful, because I didn't experience too much binder pain. I mean, I wore one binder. I didn't wear two. I didn't bind with tape also. I just wore one binder. I was a size, a kind of a smaller B cup when I first started hormones. At least that's like what I could remember. And then when I was on hormones, you know, by the time I was at Dr. Garamoni's 3 to 4 years of binding and 3 years on hormones, I ended up, actually, what was it, 3.5 years? No, 3 years on hormones. I ended up going ahead and getting, what the hell am I trying to say here? Oh yeah, I didn't have a lot of pain. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I didn't experience crazy amounts of pain, and I think that's because I really gave myself a break when I was binding. As well as at nighttime, I would also not bind while I was at the gym. That's another great time to not bind. Pretty much anytime you're doing something that's supposed to be really relaxing, you should be able to take your binder off. If you're making movements or you're running up and down flights of stairs and you have this compression chest on you, this compression vest on your chest, it's going to really prevent your lungs from expanding, and it's going to hurt you. That's when, you know, ribs break, because you turned, but you have so much pressure. You, like, turned and sat up, but you have so much pressure on your ribs from such a long, extended binder that, you know, you just bruise your rib getting up, because you just, you know what I mean? The binder manipulated your body in a way that it's not really supposed to go because of all that pressure. It didn't have anywhere else to go, so it just kind of contracted. So, yeah, I mean, binders suck. There's really, unfortunately, there's just nothing you can really do about it. I mean, it just suck. I tried to wear a binder as least as once my breast tissue kind of got really reduced a good amount after about 2 years on testosterone. I started wearing, like, if I was home alone, it was my day off. My wife didn't come home till 5, and I had 6 hours of being just home all alone. I didn't wear a binder. Anytime I really got an opportunity to not wear a binder, I didn't wear one, and that wasn't necessarily because I felt oh so comfortable now wearing one, but it was more along the lines that I felt, oh so painful. It felt oh so painful that it really, I was looking forward to taking that binder off. So, yeah, I mean, of course, I can understand dysphoria with guys who are a lot bigger chested and having to wear long torso binders. I mean, long binders on your whole torso, and, really feeling extremely uncomfortable when you have to take your binder off in front of someone or something like that, or not wear one. But on the flip side, I do have some guys who are my friends, and they are bigger chested guys, and they're bigger guys in general, and they don't look bad with the binder on. I mean, he thinks, one of my friends doesn't think he looks very good, but I think he looks fine with the binder. I mean, honestly, he looks like every other dude who would be his height and size. He looks just like them. So, binding can suck, but it can be really good because it can really help you pass. But like I said, I mean, just try to take the binders off when you can. If it's hot, try to give your body a break. Just remember that, you're not supposed to compressing yourself like that for so long. A couple of years, I'm sure, doesn't help either, but I'm sure that's not nearly as bad as like 10 years of double binding, because guys definitely double bind. I get tons of emails asking about binding in different ways, and the best way to bind is, unfortunately, to save up some cash and to buy yourself an underworks binder, or go to .5cc.com and try to purchase a t-shirt and get a free binder with your purchase. I mean, you get a free binder for $20. There's other programs online too where you can get binders pretty cheap. You can X around for used binders. That's what .5cc does. Stuff like that. It sucks, but binding is really kind of one of the key things to, for most FTMs who are trying to pass as male. So, all right, guys, I hope that helped a little bit, or at least gave you some, like, motivation, or, like, made you feel a little better